Anyway, I hope everyone has had a happy New Year and a wonderful Christmas. I hope you guys all got everything you wanted. Just got to spend time with your family and your friends, and you guys have set your goals for the year, what you want to achieve, what you want to be better at, stuff like that. Some personal goals is, Fred wants to get a little bit healthier. You know, I think that's it. So anyway, so with regards to the first point of this week's AMA, is that in regards to the plans for this year, right? So obviously, as you guys know, I think the financial market, crypto market, and the macro economy as a whole has been in a pretty rough state. Um, in about probably, I'd say, the last 11 months, maybe. Um, I think it was late February when it was late February, I think, when Russia invaded Ukraine and the kind of like the war. I was going to say little war. It's not little, but the war and political tensions broke out, and kind of macroeconomy as a whole has been on a downhill turn since then. So, things have been things have been not so ideal. Yeah, I'm like freezing here. It's like 4 a.m., so I'm like a bit choppy. So, anyway, things have been not ideal since then. So we as a whole, we as a whole have been, kind of like keeping a tune on the market. We've been doing what we can, and we kind of just keeping a good eye on everything and trying to assess what we can with our options, right? Obviously, you guys know that things aren't always ideal when you have things being ready, like, to push out and this and that. You need ideal market conditions and stuff like that. So we are moving on to building and preparing a lot of things throughout 2023, keeping a close eye on the market, and hoping to get a strong turn of momentum out of this, right? Um, oh, I see the chat has raided me and thanking Thrall. We do love you, Thrall. And yes, we shall go on to that in a later point. Oh, Ed Wolf is here. I was just talking about you, Ed Wolf. I'm saying hi to everyone. I can't see you anywhere around here. It's nice to see you, man. Oh, Jax Teller, you too, my bro. I hope you guys had a good Christmas and a Merry New Year. I mean, Merry Christmas and a good New Year. I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, so that's just with regards to the 2023 plans. We have things laid out throughout the year, and we have some stuff that we are going to push and ready to share with you guys when we feel the timing is right. And I think on to that point, I can pass it on to you, Ryan. Ryan?
Yeah, so the next thing is about the man himself, Thrall. I see a few people have just clocked onto it in the chat. Over the past few weeks, unfortunately, Thrall's been able to do less and less for SVS just due to his work commitments. And we wanted to make it known, especially in the AMA announcements, as he's the one who's usually been making them, that he won't be doing those so far. Although I'm sure it is going to be more difficult than we expect to fully get rid of Thrall, so he'll still be around and things like that. But we just wanted it to be known that he'll be doing a few less parts when it comes to the official SVS things. He'll still be about and things like that, but when it comes to like the AMA announcements, some of the tweets and things that he's been involved in, he'll be stepping back from those just due to the time commitments. But we'll still be seeing him around. I'm sure we'll be able to rope him into still doing some of the gaming things, and I'm sure he'll still be tuning in where he can. But we just want it to be known that he'll be doing a few less of the official SVS duties as we go into 2023.
Thank you for that, Ryan. Ryan. So yeah, man. Personally, I think Thrall is a great human. He's, you know, uh, done so much for us. He's been an integral part of the team for a very long time, and I just have nothing but positive things to say. Hey, Chris, uh, don't keep up here often, but want to check. Yeah, hey, man, good to have you around, bro. I hope you stick around more often. We do these AMAs every week almost. I think in about 14 or 15 months that SVS has been around, cumulative, the team has only rescheduled or missed a grand total of maybe 6 or 7 AMAs. Besides that, they happen pretty much every single week. And I just want to note that Ed Wolf never said hi back to me, even after I shouted him out. If Ed Wolf is not listening, you guys can Hattrick Bamford. Can you flame him for me? Thank you, thank you. Okay, next point is that of the before I continue on. Just want to say thank you again, Thrall. I don't think he's in here or listening, but we appreciate everything that you have done for us and that you could be part of this journey with us, um, so far. So anyway, the next point um, is that of the roadmap 3.0. So essentially, one of the largest things that has been requested over the previous weeks um, in regards to SVS is an update to the roadmap, right? So this is something that we did about one calendar year ago as well with the roadmap, right? So in the beginning of 2022, we actually revised the roadmap as well. And now that we have decided that we will be doing the same, um, as it is just the beginning of 2023. So obviously, with the market conditions changing so much across market cycles and things being quite ever present and quite volatile, and I think volatility is the best way to describe it, and things being very elastic, through market cycles and market conditions, and with how much things can shift with speed throughout the year. It's not always possible to deliver the roadmap as accurately as initially intended, right? So obviously, some amendments and adjustments will be required to fit the narrative and fit the goals, right, as we go along. So currently, we're finalizing certain aspects, and we hope to have it posted out soon. When it comes to something like revising a roadmap for the year ahead, these things take quite a lot of deliberation between the team internally and the other close members of the team that work closely with us, right? So essentially, in the meantime, if any of you guys in the lair, however new or old you guys may be, with your time spent with us at SVS. If you have any suggestions on things you believe we should or we shouldn't be doing moving forward into this year and for the remainder of the year, please let us know. Don't don't hesitate. Feel free to just reach out and let us know how you feel and what we should be focusing more on, what we shouldn't be focusing more on, where we should realign our efforts to make this um, you know as good of a year as possible.
So the next thing is on the prize, the blood bag, and the giveaway and blood shop fulfillment. I know originally when the blood shop first came out, there were some problems with fulfillment, which we did initially get sorted. And for the past few months, people were tending to get their prizes quite promptly. However, in December, it seemed that this seemed to slack behind again. This was mostly because we obviously had increased giveaways with originally at Halloween and then leading on from there into Christmas and then the ones over New Year as well. So that's why there has been a lack of fulfillment. We have been seeing everyone's concerns, people DMing us, but also in the lair and things about if they've been waiting for prizes and things from the blood shop and the blood bags. The main reason why this got behind is when we changed the blood bag system a few blood bags ago. One of the main concerns at the beginning were people were getting gift cards for things that they were never able to use, and then people were trying to trade them amongst each other, which we knew wasn't a very ideal situation. So the way we switched it, which a lot of people were happy with, is if you won a gift card, you could then contact Zoid through one of the forms and actually say what region you were from and what gift card you wanted. And people were really happy with this because it meant that they could actually get the gift cards that they wanted. However, this made the process a lot more manual, which is one thing we didn't want. Ever since we had the problems at the beginning, we wanted to try and make the process as automatic as possible. So as soon as you got a gift card, you were able to use it and receive it almost instantly. However, with this new system, it makes it a lot more manual. Every time the blood bags happen, there's usually a backlog because Zoid has to reach out to everyone and then fulfill them individually. This is also paired with a change a few blood bags ago where we increased the amount of gift cards you would get if you were a regular opener of the blood bags. We did see that there were a lot of gift cards that weren't being distributed out because people simply weren't opening the blood bags within the 2 week period. So what we did do is we increased the amount or the chance that you would get a gift card if you're a regular opener, but this just caused more issues and more backlog because even more gift cards were being given out. So then this has led into the Christmas period as well, when obviously we had a lot of the giveaways with the Grinch and things like that, where people are still waiting for those prizes as well. So we're working through them this week as fast as possible. Zoid's busy, and by this weekend we do hope to have all of the prizes out. So if it gets past Saturday and Sunday this weekend and you've still not received a prize, feel free to reach out to Zoid. But by the end of this weekend, we do hope that everyone will have their prizes, and then going forward, when we do the next blood shop and when there are the next blood bags in about a week or so, hopefully people will be getting their prizes within a matter of days, which is how we always want it to be.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that. And Ryan. So, okay, the next point is that regarding the Sandbox Castle tour. So, this is something that I obviously mentioned earlier in this AMA, kind of like during the brief intro at the start. But I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail now, as we've had quite a number of people tune in late as well, right? So, essentially, just to be brief and frank, we're truly sorry for those of you guys who have been waiting for the Sandbox Castle tour from Book Nerd. We had this penned in and planned already, but unfortunately, just before Christmas, we had to cancel it last minute, which is just not ideal at all, right? So, just to be frank and to be completely transparent, we're still looking to get this as organized for as soon as possible, and we will be making a separate post for when this is happening once everything is penned in and finalized, so we can kind of spread the word and grow the reach as big as possible for this, right? So, we want to make sure that this is going to be 100% set in stone for a date and time before we announce it, so there can be no more last minute cancellations or, um, you know, setbacks or issues, right? So we don't have to postpone again without any valid reason. So we're also aiming to make this castle tour as fun and interactive as possible with prizes along the way. So I hope everyone can just stay tuned, and we can't wait to announce this and roll it out with you guys.
And the final update for today is on the champagne. There isn't actually too much for us to add at the moment, but we just wanted to add that there were quite a lot of orders that came in December, which we were really happy to see. Over the last couple of months, there were obviously a smaller amount of orders than in the summer when the champagne was first released, but obviously a lot of people wanted to get it in time for Christmas and for the new year, so there were quite a lot of bottles sent out in December, especially in the sort of 1 or 2 weeks leading up to Christmas, and we did check to make sure they were being sent as fast as possible and with the best courier as possible, because I know there were a lot of that were having issues and they were having delays, but we did want to make sure people were getting them as fast as possible before the new year, and it seems that was the case. Checking on most of them, a lot of people did get them before New Year if they ordered them between the sort of 15th and the 20th of December, which is quite good, and we're glad to see that some people were able to open them and celebrate the new year with them. As far as we've seen so far as well, nobody's received the one golden bottle. So for those who don't know about that, out of the 1500 bottles, there is one bottle that's different to everyone else, and it's a gold-plated bottle. So if you do receive that bottle, I'm sure you'll know about it, and I'm sure we'll know about it. It's being sent out totally random, so we don't know if it's going to be sent in the next batch or whether it might not be sent for a long time if it's one of the last bottles to be sent. But I'm sure we'll see whoever does receive it posting it in the lair and on Twitter when it has been received. So as far as we know so far, nobody's received that yet. So if you still haven't received or ordered your champagne and you do have a chalice to burn to buy one, then feel free to do so, because you could still be the one to receive that one golden bottle.
Yes, so just to clarify with everyone, this is a golden bottle, not a golden shower. Thank you. Okay, maybe that was kind of inappropriate. So I think nobody laughed, huh? Fred, can you give me a laugh?
Sorry, that was just horrible.
No, that's all. Well, in that, since Fred has had so many choice comments regarding my jokes, can you give us a couple of words, Fred, from our lead developer before we move on to the questions?
Yeah. I just want to say thank you all for the past year. It's been a great year, and yeah, I appreciate everyone for sticking around, and yeah, here's to 2023.
Okay. Really.
Thank you for that,
Yeah,
Fred.
yeah. Thank you. She does have a way with words,
He
doesn't he,
does.
Ryan?
Yep.
Oh my God.
I just want to see
Okay,
Phil's Tinder responses at this point. I can't imagine how well it
isn't
goes.
it? Can you give us that? Can you give us a little swipey action? And to be honest, to be able to respond to someone, you need to actually have a match first. Uh, uh, Okay, so first question I have. So we've obviously compiled a couple questions um, through the times we haven't had the AMAs, and then we will, kind of shoot the shit and answer a little bit of questions in there. Does Freddie do wedding speeches for payment? No payment needed, honestly. You own a vamp, he's down to do the speech for you guys for free. Rubble
We
B.
can't guarantee
When's
you'll
your
get
wedding?
more than 2 sentences, but he can try.
Maybe
Do you
two
guys remember?
words.
You guys remember that fucking guy? What is his name, bro? Count Mothula. Do you guys remember? He was
Oh yeah, I met him in New York.
yeah, he was like super active in the lair and he was gonna get married. Where was it, Ryan? Cyprus or something.
I can't remember. It was
When
in the
you
summer now, so he must be married.
and he was asking me if it was possible for me to come down and officiate the wedding. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
But he disappeared. I hope he's still well and alive and married. Okay, so first
Still married,
question
I hope
for
so.
yeah, I hope so. First question for Ryan is Zoid the only person in charge of raffle reach outs?
Yeah, so up to now, Zoid is the man who you've been messaging and receiving messages from. Cheers, Fred. When it
Cheers,
comes
Fred.
to
You okay?
Okay, hopefully he's dead. That's good. So Zoid has been the one guy who's been doing the fulfillment, and up to this month or so, he's been doing a good job at it. And most people were receiving their prizes quite quickly. This is one thing that we have considered over the last few weeks, and I seen there was talk about in the lair today, even whether we would have faster fulfillment if it came to a new guy being on as well, and if there was 2 hands rather than one. And this is something we've considered and may be doing, if we see necessary. However, we are also working on trying to still make the blood shop, the blood bags and everything as automated as possible. And once we get over this backlog that should be finished by the end of the week, as I mentioned, we don't foresee that there will be any more issues. And hopefully people will be receiving their prizes just through Zoid within a day or two of actually getting them. But if we do see it necessary to bring on another pair of hands, then this is definitely something that we would be open to doing. So over the next few weeks, we'll see how it goes, and if this is something we need, we'll definitely be looking for another guy who can help Zoid out.
Ready, sat on.
The next question is, can we have a community say in the roadmap 3.0?
Yeah, definitely. So this is something that I touched on briefly just now. Well, not briefly, it was actually quite extensive, but I can touch on it again. So definitely the community can have a say in the roadmap. So we just kind of actively encourage everyone to give their input and then kind of feel free to add what you think would be good for the roadmap, right? So at the end of the day, I want you guys to understand that the community needs suggestions doesn't mean only things that you want us to do, but it actually also means things that you would like us to stay away from instead of the conventional type of input, right? Um, so yeah, feel free to, you can always just DM me, Ryan, Fred. Please DM Fred because he's
Don't
not very
expect a
attentive.
response if you DM Fred though, but you can still
Yeah,
DM him.
guys should DM him and hold him accountable for his lack of response time. Um, as a lead developer in the space, I think this is less than ideal. So yes, please do that. And otherwise, just DM T is probably the best. And me. You can always DM me
And
with
Mars,
your
don't forget Mars.
suggestions. Yes, man like Mars, but she's not man. Okay. Next question for Ryan is: are there any new collection plans with blood?
Oh yeah, so blood is one thing we've definitely been considering when it comes to the roadmap 3.0, and I'm sure things will become more apparent over the next few weeks when we release it. One of the things we have heard a lot of feedback on when it comes to blood is although people are looking forward to receiving the blood bags to get the blood and additional prizes, and then spending them in the blood shop, and we've also done other things with the when it comes to the champagne and things like that for people to spend the blood on. We are looking for more sort of deeper things that people can spend the blood on. So when it comes to any sort of further collections or any sort of burning mechanisms that we can maybe involve that come to blood, one of the main things was the blood pact, which has obviously been in the roadmap for a long time now, but that was our original main thing where the blood was going to be spent. We always knew that the blood shops and blood bags and giveaways and things like that were a way to spend blood, but there wasn't really much depth to that. But when it came to the blood pact, that was where the blood was going to be spent to perform the blood pact, with an increasing blood cost as well, which is obviously why we did the blood rework as well, where people are getting more blood now than they were before, to be able to use that in the blood pact. And I'm sure things will become a lot more clear when we do bring out the new roadmap as well. But one of the things that we do want to include in the blood in the new roadmap is a lot more uses for blood that aren't just buying prizes. A lot of people are also considering the blood bank and things like that, and especially in a market like this, it's not really ideal for us to just be pumping out a ton of prizes, giveaways, and things like that for people to spend blood on. So we definitely do want to do a lot more things within the SVS community, like when it comes to the blood pact and actual things within the collection for people to be spending blood on. We've heard a lot of feedback about things such as, re-rolling traits, combining vampresses to get rare ones or things like that, and spending blood to do so. So these are all things we've been considering when it comes to the revised roadmap. And as 2D mentioned earlier, if people do have things that they think we should or shouldn't be doing when it comes to the roadmap or going forward into 2023, or when it comes to the blood pack and updated roadmap, then we do want to hear them. So make sure you put them in the lair community suggestions or DM any of us too, because we definitely do want to hear the feedback before we put out the final roadmap.
Thank you,
The next
Ryan.
question for Mr. 2D is, we understand that the market conditions are less than ideal, but are there any forward plans for development in the meantime to keep it ticking along?
Yeah, so there are always plans for development, and we're kind of always trying to optimize and see how where we can add things and push things forward, right, for everyone that is involved with SVS. But to be honest, with development side of things, I think it's best if a man like Freddie has a few words for us.
Yeah, yes, that'll be a big thing in the new roadmap, where we will take things to the next level, and really, with the blood pact, that'll be a big thing, and can't wait for that.
Yeah. So essentially, Fred doesn't want to give out too much, but you know, we will be working on developing things. So, like obviously, as you guys have seen through the last couple of months and throughout the year, we have always made like upgrades throughout the years, like to the dash and this and that. And we do have quite a lot of stuff we plan to introduce throughout the year with regards to SVS and the development side of it, for sure. Okay, last question for the day is from Mr. Ryan Ryan. Do we know when the golden bottle will be sent?
Oh yeah, so I touched on this earlier. I must have seen that the question already came up and added it to the champagne, but there is no way for us to know. We didn't actually know the golden bottle even existed until it reached the warehouse. This is something that Shami, the champagne connoisseur, told us at the last minute. It was nothing that we planned. It was just a cool thing that he did when he was testing one of the bottles with the champagne producer themselves. So that was just mixed in amongst the 1500 bottles, and I believe the distributor doesn't even know about it, so they're not even being favourable or anything on deciding which order it's going to be put into. So for all we know, someone might have actually already received the bottle, but I'm sure if that was the case, we would have heard about it and seen it on Twitter or in the lair. So as far as we can assume so far, nobody's received the bottle. So anyone who's still thinking about ordering their champagne can still do so, and you're still in with a chance of being the one person to receive this bottle. And as we mentioned at the beginning when we announced this, we do have some cool prizes, including vamp presses and bats to send to the one person when they do tweet it. This was an incentive because we kind of do want to know who receives it, because we want people to be posting it on Twitter and things when they do. It would be a shame if someone receives the bottle but then doesn't tell us about it. So there will be some prizes and things for the one receiver of this when they do receive and let us know that they've got that bottle.
Perfect. Thank you, Ryan Ryan. That is everything that we have had for this week's AMA. Just How much blood? Oh, I can't read that. Out loud? Come on now. How much blood for a handy? Honestly, not that much. I'd wolf probably like 2,000 blood, and we could arrange it. A little bit more if you want to blow you from Fred. They say fat people. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so and that's it for this week's AMA. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys had fun. You know, you guys can always reach out to me if you have any questions. Oh, G baby has her hand up. Ryan. Do you actually? I don't see any hands, man. Am I blind?
Freddie G Baby's come up for her Happy New Year song.
Can you hear me?
Oh, loud and
We
clear.
can.
Hello, G baby.
Hey! No, I'm not singing.
Fred, say hello. Come on now.
Bummer.
Hello, G baby.
Hey guys, hope you guys had a good holiday season. I just have one question. So, kind of a question I'm seeing going around is there any chance maybe we can do an AMA on a Twitter space? I know we've done that before, but just kind of want to see if maybe we could do that, check the vibes and flow, since that's kind of where all the exposure's currently at.
Yeah, so I think this is actually a pretty decent idea. The last time that we did it, the only issue was it was a little bit difficult because we would need to have Discord open, right? To kind of see the interactions. So I'm not sure if there's like a better way to do the questions or the interactions. I could still just do it with the Discord open, but we can definitely do Twitter Spaces. But there was quite a lot of people who also like Discord. So what we can do is we can probably alternate, or if everyone just has a vote, we can just shift it over to Twitter Spaces every week. Also, this is completely fine by me, and it's can just let you guys decide completely. I guess you could reply to the original tweet with any questions that you guys have, but chat on Discord like normal. I definitely think it's a good idea because Twitter Spaces is obviously like the typical go-to, right? Because more people tune in, more people see, and if we have guests, we can pull them up and stuff like that. So I think that's a good reminder, even though we've done it before, G Baby. I think we're gonna definitely revisit that. Maybe we can do Twitter Spaces next week if you guys are all down for that. I'm completely 100% fine with it.
That'd be cool. Just want to give a quick shout out. I am Bot. Thank you for this nice GIF. I'm going to post it in Lair right now. Just wanted to give him a shout out because he's always making really cool GIFs for the community. But yeah, that's the only question I had for you guys today.
Thank you for coming up. First time. Yeah, I'm not bot. It's the best, honestly. Super talented dude. Thank you so much for coming up, G Baby. And we will be doing the AMA on True Spaces next week. No stress.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Tudi.
No worries. Okay, on that note, I think is there any more hands up, Ryan? I can't navigate Discord properly, it seems. Ryan, are you muted? Am I muted? No, I see a green thing. Is Ryan dead? Fred, can you check if there's any more hands up? I think Ryan died.
Um,
I don't see
Yeah, we
any,
have no
right?
pulse right now, so
I think Ryan has died at the end. Ryan might have. My girlfriend said Ryan has OD'd on cocaine. That might have been why. Okay, so thank you everyone. Let's see, Ryan, did you die?
Sorry, I was
Okay.
actually muted.
Oh, I was saying like, are you muted like 7 times? You know. Anyway, no more hands up, right, Ryan?
No, there's nothing else for now. So unless Fred's got any closing words.
Okay, I think what we're gonna do is in honor of this being the first AMA of the year, and Fred being the reason we missed last AMA for Christmas because he had Advent and his family's huge, big
What?
family event for Advent, and it was the reason why we missed it. He needs to give us a closing song for this
Oh my
week's
God.
AMA.
I think I've been put on the spot quite a lot this one.
Yeah, too bad,
Yeah, it was
Fucker.
too.
Now give us the song.
Um,
Everyone's in favor of it.
Just to give us a couple lines at least.
Sing us one of your like, Danish nonce songs or whatever. Sing
I'm
something in
not.
Danish
I'm
in
not
it.
sure I can sing really, but
Go
thank
on.
you all for coming. And
No, give us a couple lines at least.
I don't know.
Come on.
Oh, happy New Year, all, and bye bye.
That's not very song, but I think Fred's been put through enough today. He's been put on the spot twice and had his first female interaction. So I think on that note, we're going to close out this week's AMA. I missed all of you guys. It was awesome being able to speak to you guys again. We'll see you next week, unless there is a Twitter space with a guest that pops up in between. Like, don't know if many of you guys even knew, but we did a Twitter space yesterday. I did it with some dude, honestly. But next week we'll just do like a Twitter space AMA, and then if there are good guests, we can always do a bigger one. And then on that note, I shall see all of you next week. From me and the team, Happy New Year, and we love you guys, and bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.